everybody. Finally got the Saturn in the shop, and we're gonna drop the engine and transmission out on the Cradle. Got some totes. We're gonna put some spare parts and whatnot on this parts car in there. First thing we'll have to do is disconnect the exhaust, wiring, etc., and then we'll drop this Cradle out and see how that goes. Okay, this car is pretty low to the ground, so it took a little jockeying around to get this thing up in the air. And the reason I have to get it up in the air right away is I want to get the battery tray out so I can expose the transmission linkage. And to do that, I have to take these inner panels out. Then it should be easy. There's a couple through bolts. While I'm here, I'll show you the engine cradle. There's a bolt here. And a similar bolt on the other side. So 4 bolts, take the top of the struts out, and it'll all come down. Got to take the exhaust off. I'll get her up in the air and get all the wiring from behind out. And it should go pretty easy. So I've gone ahead and disconnected most of the wires. I labeled everything. I think I might be using parts of this wiring harness over. So I want to know what everything went to. And I'm in the middle of draining the fluids. I drain the oil. Antifreeze is draining. You're gonna have to take the caliper off and hang it, because when the Cradle drops, your lines will be in the way. So you gotta have everything hanging. Same with your anti-lock brakes. And steering, kind of hard to see. Underneath that boot, there's a bolt to pull out. Let's see if I can show you that. Very hard to see. Pull that bolt out and then your steering will slide out, because the steering will stay attached to the Cradle. Alternately, I think you could probably pull the tie rod ends off and let it hang attached to the car. Not sure. Never done this before, but it looks like the right way to go. I also loosen the nuts. That's a 30 millimeter, because I'm gonna have to pull these axles off when it's on the ground, and I wanted to make sure it'll come out. So I'm working on loosening up the exhaust and working on loosening up the Cradle while everything's draining. Check back in a little while. Well, that came out pretty easy. We tested the tensile strength of a brake line, vacuum line, and a heater hose. Luckily, this is just a parts car and it doesn't matter. We'll know better on the next one. I'll show you on the steering now that we can see it. This is where the steering connects down to the power steering rack and pinion. That comes apart really easy. We don't have to mess with the hoses on that. You can see our wiring harness. I labeled everything. I don't know how much, if any, I'll reuse, but it's there. Gotta get this transmission taken apart. Gotta get it repaired. Synchro's in 3rd gear, need replacing, and the seals leak. Other than that, we're gonna call it for now. We're going racing this weekend. So no more time for this car. Get back onto the duster. Get to the track Saturday, Sunday, if it doesn't rain. And we'll report back from there. Thanks for watching.